Okay. All right. Okay, so yet again, just to recap, your children are either in Group A or Group B for in-person learning. Every child that is remote learning, 100% remote learning, is Group D. Okay, so just so remember that. But really, Group A and Group B, if you're in person, those are the only things you need to worry about. If you're remote, you're Group D, you're remote. So don't worry about groups. Remote is remote. So the only time you got to worry about a group is if you're coming into the building. Okay, so just let's remind everybody of that. Okay, so the IS-238 email accounts are working. Many students have gotten their invites. I've seen them actually accept the invites. And let me see, Mr. Port, you did your child, wait, yes. Did your son get his invite? Did he check?
Yes, he did.
Very good, thank you. Miss Rivera, yeah. Miss Rivera, did Jake get his?
Yes, he did.
Very good, okay. So there you have it. We are doing our jobs, everybody. Believe it or not, people got their stuff. So you got to ask your children whether or not they got it. Okay. So students can now access the Google Classrooms. All right. If you've changed your mind and you want 100% remote learning, you have to complete that learning preference survey. And the link for that is on the website. It is too late to choose blended. We cannot allow students to physically become blended at this point. We'll have to wait till November for that. So it's remote only from this point on if you want to change your mind. You can't change your mind yet. November will they'll let you do that. Tomorrow, all students will begin remote learning, all students. And those next 3 days are going to be an orientation. If you read the chancellor's letter that I put on the website, he talks about that. The next 3 days are going to be about an hour of interaction with the teachers. It's not a full day. It's a way for us to start doing some troubleshooting, making sure students are accessing properly and solving any problems. The blended learning, the in-person, will begin on September 22nd, which is Monday. Is that right, or is it the 21st?
21st.
It's the 21st.
Monday the 21st.
Sorry, Monday the 21st. We'll fix that. The 21st. Okay, so hold on. Silly me. Where'd it go? That's my cat. Don't mind him. Stop running. Cat listens to me just as much as everybody else does. The 21st, if you could see that. Okay, so in person will begin on September 21st for Group A. And we're gonna, I don't even know why I bother with that. I could just show you here, but it was bugging me. So Group A is the 21st, and then Group A is again the 22nd. Okay, and then Group B, Group A, Group B. No school on the 28th, then Group A, Group B, Group A, Group B. And this will be put up on the website every month, before each month. Okay, programs will be available on the NYC Schools account. Now, this is where there's a problem. Our programs are in the DOE system, which is called STARS. All the programs are in there. We're waiting for NYC schools to upload them. I know some of the parents have said they still can't see the program, but I'm not sure why that is. It might have something to do with the start of school date. But that's not going to be that important at this stage right now, because the Google Invite classes is the child's program. So they know their program, so they get the invite. We'll get them now for when they come in person. If it doesn't upload, it doesn't matter, because when they come to school, we'll just give them their program that day, just like we would do on a regular day when students maybe didn't get their programs from the computer or something like that. That's not that big of a deal, because we're only going to have about 300 kids each day. So to give out programs to those students is not going to take that much time in the morning. So don't worry about that. But you can actually, if your child signs on to the Google Classroom and they see the classes they have assigned to them, you can figure out the program that way. For remote learning, it's all there. So even the children that are coming in person, they can tell who their teachers are going to be. So don't worry too much about that. If you need a New York Schools account creation code letter, you can email Ms. Boone or Mr. Habibi, or you can also call the school. Ms. McManus has been helping a lot of people out with that. And I'm going to get you more information about that as well. And again, there is no more pupil path. There is no more pupil path. So students who might be watching, and you keep saying you're checking pupil path, there is no more pupil path. We're going to the NYCSA, what they're calling it, the New York City Schools account, right? That cat. Okay, so that leads me to a little more structure of things here. So the school website is very important. Okay, so let's just go there right now. Hold on. Okay, so I've made a few changes, which I think I sent a phone master about. So this is the stream, and it's like Twitter. Every new piece of information gets posted. So this was the most current post, was about the Zoom meeting and the rooms. This morning, I put the chancellor's letter update for there, and also the DOE issue iPads and things like that. Now, many parents had said that because they're using their phones, it's a lot of scrolling. Look at all that scrolling. And I understand that. So up at the top, all that information that we are giving out is put up here. So 8th grade info. Let's click that for the 8th graders. This is about, many of the 8th graders are very concerned about the high school application and the specialized high school admissions test. So all that information is up here. There's the high school guide, and if you just click it, this is the digital high school guide. Okay, and all the information about high schools is listed here. This also includes the specialized high schools are also in this book. Okay, it's a very long document, but you can take a look at that. Now, it's in Spanish as well, okay, and the other languages also. As you can see, Bengali, Haitian Creole, Urdu. Now, there's also the specialized high school admissions test information. This is a separate book if your child wants to take the test. So it gives you all the information about what's on the test. when you have to register. And this is a separate thing, myschoolsnyc.gov. Now I'm going to apologize. The DOE has a lot of different sites. Hopefully they'll be able to condense them at one point. But for 8th graders, you're going to need to go there. And this is going to come up. And it's the welcome to apply to the public schools. It's all done online. You create your account. You write the information in the email. It'll be your login information. I suggest using your NYC student account for the students and the parents. You can choose your language. Don't worry if you want Espanol. It comes in Espanol. It comes in Haitian Creole. It comes in, I think that's Bengali. I hope that's Bengali. So it does have the different languages, okay? And again, all of this information you can also get from the schools. The New York City Schools website has the information too. I just try to put it, the big ticket items for you so you can see it, okay? But that's all there for 8th grade. Calendars. What I'll also put here is the September in person, in case you were looking for it, you didn't want to scroll all the way down, it's here. There's the DOE school year calendar, is the link to there as well. They're coming up with a parent calendar. I believe the chancellor made the announcement about that, but that will always be there as well. Parent information, okay. Again, the accounts for the New York City Schools account, all the information is there. There's the flyer here, and again, it tells you all the things that that account is going to have for you. You know, whether it's your schedule, important documents, it's all going to be there. Transportation, this is a big one. I know several parents have been very concerned about this. And that will be also on that as well. And all that information is here. Again, you can contact the school because finally I have staff in the school since last week, and people there answering the phones, and they can help you out, okay? So just give them a little time. I need everyone to remember that when we walked back in the building was upside down. It was upside down diagonally and in a box. It was really a mess. And it took a lot of days to kind of get that back together. So we had a lot of going on as I did in a video. We had the air conditioners being installed, the ventilation being checked. They redid the gym floor, all of these necessary things. The problem is we've had the power go out on us twice. Computers were damaged, things happened, unfortunately, but we got it all back up and running now. Okay, so that information is there. The in-person procedures, now this, again, I shared with everybody before. This is for the students physically coming in the building. Now, again, this is going to be a very tightly run operation, okay? Because safety is at the top of the list on this. And I need everybody to understand the difference between being safe and being comfortable, because they're not the same thing, okay, unfortunately. For those of you, we just had the 19th anniversary of 9/11, and for those of you that lived somewhat of their life before 9/11, after 9/11, things changed. The biggest thing being airports, the way we enter airports, taking our shoes off, things that if say you were maybe 7 years old and never been on a plane before 9/11, and then, you know, now you're 15 or 16, this might not be a big difference to you because it's all you've ever known. But if you were older, the fact that you basically had to now stripped down to get on a plane was uncomfortable. But it was a safety requirement. And what did we do? We adapted. We adapted and we dealt with it. So that is going to be the same thing here. So basically, and you'll get more information on this in the next coming days. I know I want to get back to the remote learning, but I just want you to understand. When the students come in, and I'll have a video up about this, they're going to come in, the schoolyard. They're going to come in through 89th Avenue and they're going to come in through Hillside. For those of you familiar with the layout, there's the schoolyard and then there's the alleyway to come into the building. The students are going to enter the schoolyard. Before they enter the schoolyard, we're going to take everybody's temperature. Okay. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. No, that's about right. We're going to take everybody's temperature before they go in the schoolyard. And we're going to make sure they have what they need. If they don't have a mask, we'll give them a mask. If they're having a problem, we'll take care of it. And then from the schoolyard, down the little staircase, then into the building. So I'm giving an extra layer. I'd rather, if there's a problem, catch it before we're even near the building, and then address it there. Now, do I anticipate problems? No. I don't think I'm going to get a lot. I think parents know when their child is ill. 100+ fever is a lot. Most parents would figure that out. But again, we're asking all parents to make sure they take their child's temperature before they leave their home and come to the building. But that way, we can definitely limit exposure. So my point being, if right at the schoolyard we have a child who has a high fever, that's okay. We're going to call the nurse. We're going to follow the protocols. We'll bring the child to the isolation room, which is going to be right at exit 3, around the side there. And what that allows us to do is the amount of space that child that possibly could be infected is now limited to that one very tiny area. And that's a big difference because it limits the type of exposure we would have to worry about. And again, it sounds very sterile. It sounds very, it sounds insensitive, I guess is the best word I could say, but it is a necessity to do. And again, everybody's going to be treated humanely. So don't worry. It's not like we're like, oh my God, that child has a temperature run. It's just going to be, though, that's something that we want to make sure we limit, because that's what determines how schools get shut down based on positive tests. And this is the other reason why we are keeping the students in one room. So to kind of break that down for you, a child that tests positive or suspected of testing positive, they do a 24 investigation. They quarantine that class, okay? And that class is then, stays home for 14 days. They get quarantined. That's the worst case scenario in a sense. A second case in another classroom, they would shut the building down. When you have 2 cases in separate places, they would do that. By keeping the children in one class, if those children moved from room to room to room, if we had a positive case, now all those rooms, every child that went into those rooms would also be quarantined. So they wouldn't have even had to have been in the class with the child, but now they went into the class following behind him. So now we're going from a group of students to 4 groups of students. So that's the purpose behind it, is to limit it. Because again, it's going to be unfortunate if it happens. We'll deal with it, but we'd really like to minimize how many students get involved. And that is why it is essential, parents, to make sure your children understand that this is not a game of how far I can get or how I can touch. It's very, very serious. And, I'm going to encourage my teachers to be that nurturing person for the students and help them explain. But my role is going to be one of, this is the way it has to be. Okay. And so I'm warning everybody now, this is the way it's going to have to be, because my job has now become a little more intense as far as protecting everybody. So I'm really going to have to make sure that we're following these rules. Okay, so certain times we might have been a little more flexible with things because we know how children are. But when it comes to things like silliness with this, we can't have that. It's got to be, everybody needs to understand that now grabbing somebody's face or doing any of this, silly things, could be a big difference, because we do not know how it affects other people. And I have to tell you, we're dealing, right now we have COVID-19, the viral infection, and we have COVID-19 anxiety and fear. And I'm telling you right now, the anxiety and fear part seems to be more spread than the actual virus. And they're both very, very dangerous, So that's another thing, because you don't know how other people will react. Not everybody's on the same page with things, okay? So that's why we need everybody to be mindful of that. Okay, so we're going to do all of that on the day. We're going to make sure they have their lunch and their food and everything, but all of this is on the website. I'll have videos for this as well going forward. It's also in Spanish, Bengali, Haitian Creole. You can read it too in the different languages. Okay. The Chancellor update letters I will put here also. This was yesterday's letter, and I put it up here. I'll put the date. It was September 14th. It was September 15th because he didn't send it to me until 10:30 at night on September 14th. So where I'm from, that's the next day. But I'm not going to belittle that. School supply lists are here also, and they've also been translated, as you can see. Okay, so that's bringing everybody up to speed. The remote learning. If you have an iPad, a DOE one, the one that you got, they shipped in a cute little box to you, and it's not working. These are the instructions on how to reset it are there. It's under the Zscaler, okay? We're also working at this time to try to get those devices back and redistributed, and that's going to take a few more days, but it's been going along thanks to Miss Price, who's doing a fabulous job with that, but that information is there as well. Okay, and that was all on that for the website. Again, the learning preference survey is here. The NYC Schools account. And if you still need a device, the remote learning device request. When you fill this out, I don't know how long it takes for them. They don't give me the update. You get the update probably before I do. So if you're asking me where it is, I couldn't tell you. Okay, unfortunately. But they've been good at getting them eventually, okay? All right, so let's go back here. All right. Hold on before we go there. Let's see. Okay, good. Mr. Gales is answering some questions. Good. And everybody's monitoring. Okay, so for those of you, especially your children, sixth grade children that are having a problem with Google Classroom, if you go to the YouTube channel, let me show you something else. You really should just go to the school website, because we have Facebook right here. We have Twitter right here, Instagram right here, and YouTube right here. Instagram, Miss Boone does a fabulous job updating this. She's already got the stuff up there. Look at that. So for those of you that love the IG, you got it right here. Oops, I didn't sign in, so let's not do that. For those of you like Twitter, I never know what account, because when that cat comes up, then it starts, whatever. We have the Twitter, Susan B. Anthony, and that goes there as well. Okay. Now the YouTube. Okay. So, oh, good, the live stream's on. Hey, look at that. That's like some weird paradox. If you go down to remote tutorials, so this is the YouTube channel. Okay, so we have the live stream and we only have 90 people watching, though I swear I got over 300 phone calls this morning. Only 90 people are watching, go figure. This is where we keep the records of the meetings. You can just find them here. And here are some tutorials. If you're having a problem signing in to your Google Class, you can click this. BC, have you signed into Google Classroom yet? Okay, come here, I'll show you how to sign in. You go to classroom.google.com. Hi, everyone. So the first thing you're going to do is go into Google and type in classroom.google.com, right up at the top of the bar like that. You're going to hit enter. And then a sign-in screen is going to come in, and you're going to put your school email, which I'm typing in a test one right now. I'm going to type it in like that. Okay. Okay, so you can watch that at your leisure if you're needing it. For 6th grade students, your password, don't tell anyone. I'm just talking to you right now. No one else can hear me but you. Your password is your OSIS number. Okay, so your password is your OSIS number. And your email is just really your first and last name at is238q.org. Now, some of you, there may be a few of you with the same name, and that's a problem. That's okay. You reach out to us tomorrow, and we'll take care of it. But that's the quickest way to get it, because the NY, a lot of you have still not done your NYCSA accounts, which makes it difficult to get the information to you. But let not your heart be troubled. This will all work out. I know everybody's very anxious for it, but it takes a couple of minutes. I've seen Miss McManus, Miss Contreras, Miss Monroe, Miss Price on the phone with parents, walking them through, and you can almost hear the anxiety leave the phone at the end of the call, because then they're like, oh, thank goodness. So definitely check these videos out. This one was for my staff. I even had to do one for the staff, but I'll show you something also. Parents, take a look at this, because at the top, when you go into Google, okay, if you're saying you can't get your Google Classroom, you have to sign out. If someone else is using the computer and you're using your other Gmail account, you have to sign out of that one and then sign in with the school Gmail account. That's what a lot of people have a problem with. You're still having trouble signing in to the Google account. First, go to Google, which here we are. Now, some of you may already have a Google Gmail, and that's up there. See, Gmail? So you're going to click that icon or something that you have there. And that's probably your account that you already use, but you're going to need to add another account. Okay? Okay, so we're going to... Okay, thank you, Mr. Liddy. So that's the thing you're going to have to do as well. But all of this information, how to write an email, parents, the subject line, I've went over this with the students. The subject line is not where you write the body of your email. Okay? I see Ms. Boone laughing. She knows what I'm talking about. I'm going to even yet. Because you have to understand, we're trying to help you. Right, Ms. Boone?
Yes, absolutely.
So what happens is, I won't blow up anybody's spot. We're trying to help everybody as much as we can. So we're grabbing, we have our emails on our phones. So when you don't write anything in the body of the email and you just put it in the subject line, the phone shows me no message. So then I just go by it thinking you must have just hit it by accident. It's not till later when maybe I'm sitting at the desktop and I'm going through and I'm like, whoa, there's like a paragraph in there. So you got the subject line. I want you to watch that video. It's not that long. It's under 2 minutes. The subject line is not where you put the information. That's where you just say, like, again, schedule. You have a question about your schedule. Just write schedule in there or leave it blank. But in the body is where you write the stuff. Okay. And that brings us to the Google Classroom part. And this gets a little tricky because of the fact that I have a different screen than all of you. Okay, so, and I can't show students' names. Oops, don't look, pay attention to that. Okay, so what happens when you sign on, now I have everybody's class. So your child's is not going to look like this, okay? So, but it will look similar to this. When they sign in and they go to Google Classroom, their different classes will be there. They've already, they get the invite in their email. Okay, that looks a little like this. I don't want to, I gotta be careful here when I'm showing people.
Mr. Letty,
Yes.
just want to share that I also posted an example of the invite
Okay.
that the invite that the student will receive.
Yes, I saw, yes, on Instagram, I saw that, yes. So what happens is you get the email, and if I can really quick do it without showing all my government. Do people still say that, or am I just me? Is that showing my age? Okay.
The age, okay.
It's the age, it's the age. Hold on. Okay, like right here. Everybody knows Ms. Comack. So Ms. Comack sent me the invite to teach her class. So you would get something like this. The student would get this in their Gmail account, and they click join, and they're in. You don't need the creation code. I know everybody thinks they do. We don't give out the creation code because then kids do the silly thing that they give it to all their friends. And then the next thing you know, it's almost like people walking into the classroom. So the invite is sent directly to the student, okay? And that's what it would look like. And when they go in, you know, there's nothing there, hold on. Nothing there either. Okay. Well, they post a message when they first come in. Yeah. Kids have already started, and I don't want to put that stuff up there. So, but basically when they click in, it has their message there. It'll tell the students what's going on. Classwork is posted here. And then the people in the class, that would be the people in the class. I do know many students have logged in already. Students were emailing me as the classes were being created because their friend texted them, I just got my class. And then they emailed me, Mr. Letty, all my friends got their classes but me. Why? And it's within like, well, it was a minute ago. Just wait a second. So again, we have to just be a little patient. I know everybody's excited. Okay. Right, let's drop that down. Let's drop that down as well. Let's stop the share. Okay. Now, before we take any questions, I just want one more thing. Tomorrow, we will begin at 10 a.m. And what we're going to do is, and I'm going to send this out on the website and do a phone call, but at 10 a.m. tomorrow, we're doing orientation, and we'll do that every day. At 10 a.m. tomorrow, all students should check in first with their ELA class, and they'll spend about 15 minutes there. Then they'll go to their math class. Then they'll go to their social studies class, science class, but we're going to post this up. Okay, and that's a way for them to make sure they're in the right place and set the groups up and things like that. So that's going to be posted on the website as well. but at 10 a.m. tomorrow. And what's going to happen is kids are going to jump around, and we know this. And that'll be what it is. Because again, these next 3 days are to troubleshoot and to just get people oriented to it. And again, I know everybody's very, very excited. And we're going to start with that. So they'll start with their ELA, their math, their social studies, their science, and then the other classes that we can fit in. And we're going to do this all week for the rest of the week to get everybody settled. Okay, so let's just start from that. So yes. So let me see. There are some. Do we have any questions that are the same?
I think there's just a clarifying question regarding class times overall after this week for remote. What's the class time for remote classes?
The class time, we will send that schedule out because I know many parents were not happy last year. I mean, with the remote learning and the live instruction. If you saw from the chancellor's emails, if you are reading this, he broke it down of how many minutes in the beginning, and it gets more and more as we go on. I believe it's 100 minutes of live instruction a week is what the 80 to 100 minutes of live instruction, and we will make sure you get that. So those schedules will go out. The reason, let me explain it so people understand, because I know there's a lot of noise and you're not getting the answers you want. So I'm going to keep it real because I know how you feel. And basically what that's going to come down to is we need to know how many kids are coming in person. Okay? I know what it says, but I don't know if that's a real number, because I know I still have a lot of parents that have not responded to things, and they may change their mind. I know I have families that are really not paying attention to certain things, and they may say they want to go to remote learning. If you're sending your kid to in-person learning, you may change your mind. Something could happen. So you're going to get a breakdown of schedule, and it's going to change. It's going to change because it's going to depend on where the students are. Okay, so the more students that end up moving remote means the more we have to adjust with the teachers that are in the building. All right, so this isn't people making excuses. This is the reality of it. It's the best example I could give you would be when you go to an amusement park, and maybe, there's the most popular rides. So if there's all these waits for on a very popular ride, the carousel, maybe nobody's on that. Maybe they shut that down and they bring the staff over to help with the roller coaster because nobody's doing the carousel. They want that. So we're doing the same type of thing. We need to see what's popular and where everybody is. So it's going to change. The schedules you get are not set in stone. They're going to change because they're going to have to change based on where the resources are. But at the end of the day, the children are getting live instruction. Now, this goes both ways. Your children have to be where they're supposed to be in remote learning when the teachers have scheduled the live instruction. Okay, so they have to do it. The students have to be there. The other thing I'm going to tell you is video conference etiquette. Okay? So I'm going to tell you right now that I did not wear this to work today. I was in my t-shirt and my cargo pants because I was getting dirty. Okay? And for those of you who've been in the building, I do that quite often. But this is the appearance that I believe everybody is comfortable with. And this is my professional face, let's say. So the teachers, I expect them to show their professional face. Just because we're home, I expect the students to show their professional face. I also expect people in the house to respect the professional learning environment around their children. Okay, so if you're going to be walking back and forth behind your child, and I'm not trying to be funny because this has happened, I need everybody to make sure they're dressed appropriately, okay? Because these things have happened. Like I said, I'm keeping it real. These are the things that have happened. I want to avoid them from doing so. I don't want children trying to screenshot images of each other or their teachers. Okay? There's no need for any of this. This whole situation is the opposite of funny. Okay? There's nothing funny about this. And again, I do like to have the sense of humor. I like to make people feel comfortable. But the fact that we're in this environment, we shouldn't be in it. And the goal is to get out of it. Okay. So while we're here, we need to be very respectful of everybody, even more so because the internet is the Wild West, as they used to say. Once you put it out there, there's no taking it back. It goes all over the place. So please be very mindful of that. Be respectful of the teachers. I'm going to request the teachers be live. I know parents had an issue that teachers weren't showing themselves on the camera. I'm telling you right now, I'm probably going to get into a fight with everybody, but good. I don't, you know what? Listen, sometimes that happens, but that's what I'm saying is the commitment for that. If I have to do the fight for that, then I'll do the fight, but I need it parallel. I'm losing my thought, but I need the students also to be respectful as well too when they're on the camera. Okay, so cameras on and ready to go. This is not Success Academy. I'm not saying students are sitting there with their hands. I read that thing in the paper. I don't know what that's about, but respectful in a place, not in their bedroom, not on their bed. Okay, someplace, blank wall, they can do the screen thing behind, whatever that is. But we want to try to keep this as close to a educational setting as we can. Okay? All right. Were there any other big question topics?
There's a couple of people asked about IEP programs and who they can reach out to discuss that.
Oh, very good. And I'm glad you asked that. And I forgot to bring that up. Hold on. Back to the screen share. The person for that is Miss Rowland. And if you go to parent information at the top of the school website, remember, so I'm at the school website, parent information. I'm going to click that. Thank you. Contact information, visitor procedures. So you're going to click this. I will have this translated in a few days. It takes a couple of days, but this is what we put out today. So this has all the information and emails for people. Okay. This will be modified as more things come up, but special education right down there is Miss Rowland. That is Miss Rowland's email address. Okay. You can email her. Mr. Galis is here. We all know who Mr. Galis is. And if you have schedule problems, he's there as well. He's also there for science and phys ed. ELA and social studies is Miss Baffer. Math and the arts is Miss Nowitzki. We have our guidance counselors here, Miss Mancuso, Mr. Monsione, our deans. And these are all their emails. Miss Price's email if you're having tech issues. Miss McManus, who's helping everyone with the New York Schools account. Okay, we don't want to always, Miss Boone's got a lot of parents, so let's spread the wealth a little. And you know what? Call the school now. You can definitely call the school. There's people there. The number's up here for the school, right up there. Okay, so you have the number. Enrollment is Miss Monroe. If you know somebody that wants to register their child, you email her. We all know the fabulous, the wonderful, the living legend, Miss Jennifer Boone, parent coordinator. Because there's a part of me that wants to do the whole Springsteen thing, but I just don't know if I can pull it off. What was that? Do I have to say his name? I think it was with Clay. Do I have to? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Couldn't help it. And if you visit the school, I'm going to tell you right now, anybody going to the school, we're going to give you this sheet of paper. So if you're on this meeting now, save yourself the trip, contact the people, and then from there we'll contact you. One of the issues we're having, and I'll go back to like I was saying, COVID virus, positive, negative test, COVID anxiety and fear. Okay? People are very scared. Everybody is usually afraid of things they don't know. The unknown causes fear. Fear leads to anger. Okay, so it's not that so much people are angry. People are angry because they were scared first. They got scared and then they got angry. And that's how things happen. So I need to reduce anxiety. And the best way to do that in this time is with the students in the building, I'm isolating the building. If you're visiting, it's going to be appointments. We'll try to teleconference first. Last case scenario, if we need to do a physical meeting, we will get to that, but that will be the last case scenario. We will first try over the phone, through email, teleconference, and then if that fails, we will do an in-person meeting, but that'll be at the very end. And that again is just to limit the amount of exposure to things, okay? That's what it is. Do not take this personal. For the many years I've been there, I don't think I've ever said somebody couldn't come in the building. But this is a different thing, and I'm just trying now to make sure I limit who comes in. That's everybody. You know, it's got nothing to do with it. But again, this is how we're going to start the year, and hopefully this is not how we end the year. Hopefully it gets better. But all that information is up there. Okay.
Mr. Letty, there's a question here about, I think it's specifically about remote learning. How many hours will the students be getting live instruction? This parent is worried about their child not getting enough in-person or one-on-one contact with the teachers.
Okay, so as I stated before, we're looking at 100 minutes a day. Mr. Gales, is that correct? 100 minutes, 80 to 100 minutes? Yeah, I moved it on my thing. I think Mr. Gales' phone. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
he's saying.
Yes.
It's 80 to 100 minutes a day, and it's going to be scheduled. This whole week, though, the remaining of week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, is about an hour, and it's only orientation. Okay, so this is us working out the bugs and getting everything straight. So these next 3 days are not the model we're going to follow. All right, we're just trying to make sure that we have everybody where they're supposed to be. Okay, so live instruction will be paramount. As I said before, this is something that I know parents were very upset with, and it has to change, and it will change. Okay, so that's why I have all that information there. If as we go along there are problems, we'll fix them, but definitely live instruction.
And I also want to add that that's, because I can see that this particular parent is worried about the rest of the day. These are the minutes that were given by DOE as guidance for this particular age group for the 80 to 100 minutes a day. So I understand that it's definitely going to be more of a challenge, but we'll try to find the teachers will hopefully find other ways to keep the kids engaged and connect with each other. But that's just what was advised to all the schools.
Yeah. Again, if I had it my way, it'd be completely different. But unfortunately, nobody called me and asked me. But that's what it is. And that 80 to 100 minutes is to increase as we go further into the school year. There was the breakdown in the chancellor's update letter, and you can see it and we will be sending it home. But again, I'm worried about miscommunication and misinformation, which has been a problem with the DOE lately. And that's why I've been doing this each week. And some of it's been repetitious, but that helps because when that change comes, you see it. You see it right away. You're like, oh, whoa. And then you can know, well, Mr. Letty did say that there was a possibility that would change. Okay, so keep that in mind, but definitely instruction. And again, tomorrow, we will be double checking everything. The way the students are logging in. Like I said, as I was looking at the classes, it looked, I would say 75% of the students had accepted the invitations in most of the classes as I was going, because it shows me who actually accepted, which was good. You know, that's a great way to start, and that'll get better. And again, people can call the school, and we'll be doing that for the next 3 days to make sure that everybody's getting what they need. Are there any other things?
I see a question that says counseling. Are you just asking if counseling is being offered, Crystal? If you can clarify what you're asking. How many classes are we supposed to have is another question. If you're asking how many questions you're supposed to have, I think it would just be normal, like 8-hour or 8-period day, I believe. But once again,
yeah, it'll look different. You see, here's the thing, and this is where it's a little, it's different from last year because we have live instruction going on at the same time we have remote going on. So that's a little different. So how is that different? I'll explain to you in one way. I had to be in 2 different places today. I had to be in the building and I had to be remote. And I had to make sure I got home to do remote. And it's not the same thing where you're just in one place because there's the physical part. Even though it's 300 students, it's not as many students, it's still the physical building. So now we have to watch who's online and who's in the building, who's teaching, which teachers are teaching from home, which teachers are in the building. So it's quite different. So we are still trying to figure out, like I said before, we want to make sure where our resources are. So definitely the remote, you're going to get more information because like I said before, unfortunately, for the parents that are here every week, and I applaud you, trust me when I say I applaud you, you are the ones that are saying, listen, I'm here all the time, I get it, but there are other parents who are going to call me on Monday, the 21st, and say, what's going on? And it's going to be more than one. And so then what happens is now that's going to switch the dynamic of probably, I would say, about 50 to 100 students. And it doesn't make a big deal to you, but it makes a deal in how we do things. Okay, and that's where we would shuffle a couple of things. And that's really what we're looking at right now. We have to make sure that we're getting the proper resources. And again, I know everybody's excited and anxious to go, but the entire school year is 10 months. The school year begins tomorrow. It doesn't end tomorrow. Okay, so understand that. We are not fitting in the entire year tomorrow. So tomorrow will be the beginning, and then the next day it will continue, and the day after that. And things will be fixed, things will break. They will be fixed again, they may break. It's a constant thing, it's life.
Mhm.
It's kind of the way it is. And nobody's denying that. We're all making sure we're going to do that. So I understand you still have questions, but they're going to be answered probably better than they have been in the last few months because now we're going to have a very clear picture. Somebody said something about why suggest remote. We are not suggesting anything. Okay, so nobody was saying about remote. We are not suggesting. If I had my way, everybody would be in the building. And I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that. But that's the way I think. I think the kids need to be back in school. And I can't wait for this to be over because I don't think, they need to be in school. That's it. I'm not, that period. Children need to be in school. It's just that simple. Okay?
Yeah, and also remember that there will be a point in time where you can transition into blended learning. So if you're unhappy with remote learning, there will be an opportunity for that later down the line.
In November, but unfortunately, we can't keep, we can't go back and forth. If you want to come, if you're in remote learning and you want to go out, I mean, if you're in blended learning and you want to switch to remote, then you can do that. But you can't go from remote to physical until November. And blended learning is still remote learning half-time. Remember that. So when Group A is in school, Group B is home doing remote learning. You're not off that day. So just remember that. And that's what we're going to do all this week, is to help people understand how they're going to do school. That's what the next 3 days are for.
Yes, and there was a comment about how blended still includes remote. So yes, you're still going to have remote. The reason why blended includes remote is because, once again, the guidelines of the amount of people allowed in the building.
Right.
So that's, that's the reason for that. Ms. Duport or Ms. Boone, I don't know if you were getting any questions on your end.
No, all the questions that I had from parents today were answered. So I will just clarify on social media and emails. For those that have said in the chat that they had sent an email to me and have not received a response, those emails were probably sent after my day was done. I am going back to the emails after the meeting tonight so that everyone does have their codes, as I do so after every session. So until it's done and I have no more emails, if you have not sent out a request, please do so. You still have time, and I will send it to you. Also, for those that are responding, that are actually requesting via social media, I respond and let you know that sensitive material I cannot send over social media. So if you have seen your comments deleted because you put an OSIS number or a student ID number, it was not, it wasn't personal, it was safety. Okay?
Yeah.
So I reply with my email and Mr. Habibi's email. If I'm not getting to you fast enough, there's other people that you can reach out to, but I am more than willing and I will get to you. And you can also send an email to Mr. Habibi and myself. We are all working diligently to make sure that everybody gets the same information that is on our website. That's it.
Very good.
Great, thank you.
Hi, yes, I sent Ms. Kleiger the email from FACE. Excuse me, I'm the PTA president. I'm also on President's Council. From FACE, every month they're going up a couple of hours for Miss Unknown for the kids, but they're starting out in September, which will you be starting out the 90 to 120 minutes. November, December, they go up from 100 to 140 minutes. And every month they're going up certain minutes. So it's just not, this is the start and out point for the kids. After that, they go up every month a couple of minutes. Also,
Thank you.
I think Mr. Lady, her main concern is she wanted to know how many hours physically will the teachers be online. I don't know if her child is doing remote teaching online.
Okay, so,
That's maybe what it is.
okay, yeah, so the difference, that makes sense, right? So the difference between live instruction means the teacher is here on the camera with the children, answering questions right then and there. The synchronous instruction, that doesn't mean the teacher's done after that. The teacher then, can respond to emails. The teacher is looking at work. The teacher can receive a Google something or other. I forget what it's called. So the teacher is still going to be working and helping students, but that live instruction is going to be scheduled where they're in front of they're on screen with the child helping them. Okay. So, but they still will also be helping them during the day as well in other ways. So yeah, definitely there's going to be that help.
And if the teachers are taking a while to respond and that becomes a major issue, then I would reach out to, Mr. Galis or one of the other APs if it's a major problem, because we obviously want to make sure they're responding during the day when they're supposed to be interacting with the students.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm gonna listen. I don't want to make this sound like I'm using spies, but you guys are my eyes and ears, okay? Because I can't just walk around the building anymore and check. And I'm putting my trust in the teachers that they're going to do what they need to do. But if you feel that that's not happening, you need to let me know, or you need to let one of the APs know. Because that's how we'll keep up on things. If I'm running McDonald's, I've got a whole bunch of stores. I got one in North Dakota. If you're telling me that service is bad, then you need to send me an email because, I'm all the way in New York. So definitely let me know.
Mr. Letty, there's a question about if there's going to be remote tutoring after school.
Hold on a second. The Sachin is driving me crazy. He keeps asking me questions. Sachin, Group A. Sachin, Group A. All right, my man. Very good. He's happy now. Okay.
You're excited. That's good.
And Sachin, I'm gonna personally reach out to you tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna send you an email. You got it, my man. I love that kid. So, what did you say again, Ms. Fliger? I'm sorry.
There's a question about remote tutoring after school.
So, as it stands right now, we just got the Sports and Arts is going to have an after-school program. Ms. Boone had posted that. They're going to have something. But as far as in-person after school, I received the notification today that they really don't want after-school things in the building. I think they were saying we'd have to pay for it, something crazy, but they just don't want us to do it, I think. But we'll be setting up some remote, definitely, things. I'm gonna put a thing out for the teachers. I don't want to overwhelm them just yet, but we will have a thing where there will be some remote tutoring available, where students can, maybe I'm looking at some of the teachers, like maybe from 5 to 7, or even 7 to 9, depending on which teachers I can get to agree to that, because I know some people get started a little later. We definitely will have some form of remote tutoring. Probably give me till October, the beginning of October, because I gotta wait to, I gotta see how the cards are being dealt right now. You know what I mean? I'm sitting on a king, and I'm hoping the next card's a 10. But it might be a 2, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then if you play blackjack, do I double down? I don't know. So I'm just waiting to see what comes next. So definitely we'll have tutoring, but give me till about the first week in October before I send anything out with that.
I'm not seeing any new questions. I think there's a lot of questions asking about schedule and classes, what time things are happening. And again, I think as Mr. Letty said, you really just, it's different than last year. Not everyone's necessarily having the same exact thing. So you just want to make sure that you're keeping track of your emails, your Google Classroom invites. Your teachers will be inviting you to those if they haven't already. And yeah,
Yeah, so basically, because the fact that we are having in-person learning, okay, so if your child attends in person, that means the school day is from 8:30 to 2 p.m. Okay, so now if you're doing remote, figure that same parameter, 8:30 to 2 p.m. around that time, okay? Because the teacher's schedule is from 8 to 2:50, but they have the time on the end where they have to talk to each other to plan. So you're looking at 8:30 to 2 p.m. every day. You want to think in those time frames, okay? That's what we're looking at. Will you have to do work after that? Probably, because that's school, you know, but that is the time that you need to set aside every day, 8:30 to 2 p.m., whether you're in the building or at home. Okay, so that's the time frame. And again, it's going to be different for the kids in school physically and the kids at home. Okay, it's going to look like two separate things. But you'll, like Sarah said, repeating what I said, just let us get everybody in, and then we'll give you I know what you want. Like I said, I'm going to keep it real because I know how you feel. I'm going to get you what you were looking for after we make sure that we have everything set in place.
there's a question about getting an invite for a homeroom class. I don't think we have homeroom classes, correct?
No. We don't have. That's yeah. No, you'll see. I know. Sixth grade. I'm going to tell sixth grade. I apologize. This is not the way we do things for the sixth grade. It's usually quite a different experience. But you know, this is what we have, and I know it's hard. This is going to be a little harder for the sixth graders because of the fact that we're building everything new and we can't actually meet you in person. So it's definitely difficult, and I understand that. So, but it'll work out. I have complete confidence that would work out. I'm not worried about that. It's just going to take a little time to get everything going. And I know people said they had all summer. They didn't have all summer really because of the fact that teachers don't work the summer. So while I get everybody is saying there's all these time, teacher time and real time aren't the same thing. You know, I did not have a staff of 130 people at my disposal, you know, July and August. They didn't come back till next week, and I get it, but it's just not. That's why you'll notice now the phones are ringing, they're being picked up, you're getting information, things are moving because you need people to move the machine, and we didn't have people all summer to do that. So I get it, but the reality is, I'm the first one to jump out in front and start complaining when things don't work. Trust me on that. But you can't do it when you don't have the labor to do it. It just doesn't work. But now you'll see everything is moving quicker. Okay. I think, is that it?
I think so. What are the class subjects will there be for 7th grade?
Okay, so that's gonna be the final thing we answer because now we're getting into the questions of like, you know, I get it, but you know, the classes are what's going to be in the Google class. It's going to be the same classes you always have, math, ELA, social studies. The difference is the timing of it. And the difference is whether you're in person or remote. And I understand my young friends that you're very excited and at the same time you want to know a lot of information, and I don't want to stifle that energy. I want you to keep it going. So I want you to take it, put it in a bottle and hold it there. And then when it's time for school, I want you to open it and drink heartily from it. But right now, just what we have is all the same. It's just going to be different. So I do appreciate the energy. But all of this will be made clearer. It's all the same subjects. It's just going to look a little different. And the best way for me to explain that to you is for it to happen. Okay. Okay, again, I want to thank Ms. Kleiger, Mr. Port. Mr. Port is PTA president. Ms. Kleiger is the middle school director. I want to thank also Mr. Galis, who was answering a lot of the questions in the chat. Give us a thumbs up, Mr. Galis. And I want to thank a person who has been going above and beyond, answering emails all the time today. Do I have to say her name? What's her name? Do I have to say her name? I want to thank Ms. Jennifer Booth, parent coordinator. Thank you very much. I know she's doing so much.
Let's give her a round of applause, please.
Yes, please do. I want to thank her for everything she's doing. And again, and also thank you to the interpreters. And again, we will do, there'll be updates. You got to keep checking that website. Okay? All right, everybody. I have to go edit the YouTube video now because I'm sure that that's a mess. So again, everyone, thank you very much. And tomorrow is another day, and we'll get all that information on their website. Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.